New reservoirs will be fast-tracked through the planning process under proposals which would class them as nationally significant. That means ministers, not local councils, will give them the final go-ahead. One of them, the Fens reservoir, will be built in Cambridgeshire, providing water for 250,000 homes. It's due to be completed in 2036. A second in Lincolnshire could open in 2040, and it would serve up to 500,000 homes in the driest region of the UK. Well, today's announcement came as an official drought was declared in northwest England. More on that in a moment. First, our science correspondent Martin Stew on the increasing risk of taps running dry.
When water levels in Buell Reservoir drop, so too can supply to the nearby village of Wadhurst. Things have got so bad, Mary Burstow keeps bottled water in her shed to drink and rainwater in a tank to flush the loo when needed.
We've had intermittent water shortages. We never know when they're going to happen. I just turn on the tap and realise there is no water coming out of the tap.
There are specific pumping problems in her area, but across the country it's forecast there'll be a shortfall of 5 billion litres of water per day by 2050, the result of ageing infrastructure, an expanding population and climate change. In Hartersmere on the parched Suffolk-Essex border, businesses have been told they aren't allowed any additional water until 2032, scuppering plans for expansion.
We got a letter which said that this moratorium was going to come into existence. If it's imposed, then we would have to move outside of a water restriction area, or we would have to close.
The government is planning to build 9 new reservoirs, but this will only make up for a third of the water deficit the country is facing, a major problem for housing. The government's target is to build 1.5 million homes in the next 5 years. According to analysis for ITV News by consultants Public First, 27,000 of those are proposed to be built in areas where water is so scarce they won't be able to be built at all, costing the economy £11.7 billion. Havant Thicket in Hampshire is the only reservoir where building is already underway, and it won't be ready for another 7 years. But even so, building reservoirs in dry areas can't solve the problem alone.
There is a whole sequence of engineering projects in the pipeline, not just to build more reservoirs, but also to use things like canals and existing rivers and new pipelines to be able to move this water around.
At Clay Farm, a housing development in Cambridge, a possible glimpse of the future.
The water is collected from the roofs and all of the roads that are around the site here, draining into this reed bed and then pumped to a plant room from where it's then supplied to all the toilets and bin stores.
It's called a grey water system and saves about 27 litres of mains water per person per day.
So this is the water from the outside tank, crystal clear, doesn't smell.
Lutz believes developers should be forced to install something similar in new builds. That may be at odds with the government's streamlining of planning rules to speed up building, but campaigners say without major improvements in infrastructure and efficiency, government growth is in danger of drying up. Martin Stew, ITV News.
Well, the danger of drying up is especially clear in northwest England's reservoirs, and that's led to today's drought declaration from the Environment Agency. Let's get more from our correspondent Stacey Foster at a reservoir which serves Manchester. And Stacey, low water levels there despite recent rain.
Yeah, that rain this week just simply hasn't helped enough. This drought status now covers Greater Manchester, Merseyside, Cheshire, Cumbria and Lancashire, and it's all been caused, of course, by the recent dry weather. Now, we're actually in Derbyshire in the Longdendale Valley, where a network of reservoirs were built to serve Greater Manchester. People here have told us today that they're really worried about the low levels here, of course, caused by this really dry spring. Hardly any rain recorded between February and April. The Environment Agency say it's up to the water companies what to do next. They all have a drought plan that includes measures like hosepipe bans. United Utilities, we've spoken to them today, they're not talking about a hosepipe ban yet, but it could happen later on in the summer, and the Environment Agency says it's keeping an eye on things because at the moment no other areas of England are affected by drought, but we know that there is more warm, dry weather on the way.
All right, Stacey, at that reservoir there in Derbyshire, thank you.